Hello guys, Wahoo here, back in another video. This time around we are going to review, and I put this in quotations, review Path of Exile 2. This is going to be my review of it, as much as I've played so far, of the closed beta, and I'm putting it in quotations because I haven't played that many hours of the game yet, but I do want to kind of put my thoughts out there for whatever you guys maybe want to know about my thoughts on so far, because I played a lot of Path of Exile 1. Not that I'm any expert in Path of Exile 1, but I have played for quite a long time. I've played most of all the mechanics that's in Path of Exile 1 so far. So I wanted to put my thoughts out there on making sort of a review, because I see also a lot of people like putting reviews out there, and sure, but the whole game is not out yet. So I don't think you can make a proper review yet, but I will make so far, I guess, a closed beta review of how I'm feeling about the game so far. There's a lot of changes coming still. They're changing the game every single day almost, like making hot fixes and stuff like that. And that is what is part of the closed beta that is going on right now. But I do want to say, before we get into far in the video, I do want to say you should definitely try out Path of Exile. At least the one is, we can't get you can get in the beta if you buy your way into it, but I would not recommend buying yourself into Path of Exile 2 if you haven't tried one. And if you haven't tried that many hours still, I don't think it's still worth trying out the beta, because the beta is not really a super clear look on what the game is going to end out being. So I don't think 30 euros or dollars, how it is in your currency, is gonna be worth it trying out a half of game. Basically, you are going to play 1 to 3 act and then 1 to 3 again. There's gonna be 6 acts in total, and then there's gonna be some end game, but 1 to 3 you can play right now, and then the end game. But again, there's gonna be 6 acts in total, so it's gonna be probably completely different when we get the whole game out, and that's going to be at some point. And of course I will do a blind playthrough of all the acts. Well, I have tried act 1 now and sort of some of 2, but I'm trying to hold myself back, trying too much. The game doesn't get stale before I get my hands on it, and I don't want to dabble too much in the end game either. That's not really what I've had most fun with Path of Exile 1, but I'll get to that in the story part. I have made timestamps so you can skip to the review if you want to do so, or my thoughts on the game so far. That will be at the end of the video, but I will also be doing a sort of a story time with my experiences with Path of Exile 1 and kind of the whole thing going through that. So if you want to see that, I wanted to put that out there as well, because I haven't showed off a lot of my Path of Exile stuff on this channel. So I wanted to show you guys these things, and also kind of my whole journey through, Path of Exile and what have come out of actually playing this video game, which is kind of sort of, I feel like, is quite a lot in a way actually. But again, if you want to just get to the review, there is a timestamp, you can go and check that stuff out. But with that said, this was the intro, and we can now head into some story time. And if you are not, well, I'll see you guys at the review. Alright, so first up, we are going to do a little bit of a story time. I don't know how long this is gonna be. It's quite a long story, because I have been playing Path of Exile ever since Diablo 3 came out. Not sure when that was. I don't know the exact date or year or whatever, but it's at least 10-12 years ago or something like that. That's before Rebirth Souls came out. That was the expansion for Diablo 3, where it changed a lot of the game into what it is now. But it was quite a tough game. Not Path of Exile, but Diablo 3 was a kind of a hard game back in the day. There was the real money auction house and all that stuff, all that debacle. If you don't know, you could buy some gear from gold. Gold was also quite hard to get, not as it is now, but it was quite kind of hard to get. But there was also real money, so you could actually buy stuff with real money and stuff like that. I don't know how the idea from Diablo came out and stuff. That seemed really weird. I don't know, but apparently they thought it was a good idea. But of course, it's since a long time ago removed and all. But I don't know if it actually was with the Rebirth Souls, or they did it before that. There was a lot of backlash with that one, but it was quite hard to get through the game. And I was, trying to figure out how to, beat the game and all that stuff, like many other people were doing. So, you go to social medias like, for example, a YouTube channel just like this one, or on Twitch. So I started playing, Diablo 3, but I was also looking at, like I said, Twitch, and then, Diablo was sort of popular, like a lot more than Path of Exile was back in the day. Diablo 3 was, because it was the name brand and it was the, you know, the top dog of the RPG genre and stuff like that from Diablo 1 and Diablo 2. And even though there was like sort of not the game people were expecting, there was still like quite a lot of people watching that one. And I started, you know, watching some people on Twitch, so on and so on. And then I found a guy called Nugian, and Nugian is still playing Path of Exile as of today. He's still out there, so if you want to check him out, I will link it in the description as well. I'll link to the people that, you know, I saw back then and stuff like that, and also still watching. But I started watching Nugian because he was playing not Path of Exile, but he was playing Diablo 3, and then you know, watching him, and he kind of died on the game because he's like, you couldn't really progress in Diablo 3 back then and all that stuff. And then he started playing Path of Exile. And that was my introduction to Path of Exile. And if you look right here, the character right here is actually my first character. Well, I think I made a few other characters before that, but I've since deleted those because they really became nothing. Like you can also see this is only 76, and you can see there's that just level of 100, right? And now it's really easy to get to 76, but that back then it was really, really hard. But this is the first character that I made. We'll actually jump into this character a little bit. But I want to continue the story. So he started playing it, and I thought, okay, it's free to play, so I'll check it out and see what it is, because, you know, Diablo wasn't really catching on for me either, like many other people. And this was also when Path of Exile is not the game that it was today. It was like way, way back, and it was still very good, still very, very good, because it just had that, you know, that X factor or something like that. It still has, but you know, it just has something different than Diablo 3 had, and I just started playing this way, way more than I played Diablo 3. And then, you know, Rebirth Souls came out and stuff like that for Diablo 3, and, you know, I kind of got back into Diablo and stuff like that. If you look at my account, I kind of played the first couple of seasons or something like that when Diablo 3 was out, and then, you know, it just took a massive drop and didn't play anything for a few seasons. You can see all your seasons and stuff like that, and then it basically came back, and with a few builds and stuff like that, Diablo 3 actually became very much enjoyable. But Path of Exile was still really the go-to game that I have been playing them very much of, and probably also the game I've spent the most money on, I'm pretty sure, over the 12 whatever years it is at so far. I didn't know this, but if you have paid $480 total, you became a lifetime supporter for Path of Exile, and apparently I have paid more than that. I thought I hadn't done that, but I bought a couple of $100 packs when I was like super much into it. Like I was only playing this game. It was also before I started playing Trove again. So this is, you know, I'm all up to almost 9 years playing Trove. And in between, I've still played Path of Exile. I hadn't stopped, you know, I both played Trove, but this was a game I played before actually also playing Trove. So if you think I've been playing Trove for a long time, well, you have been playing Path of Exile for much longer. And you can actually see that if you go into your character. You can see how many days you actually have had it. If you don't delete it, of course, you cannot get your character back at that. But if you do go in there, you can actually, and we'll see that, you can actually type /age, and you can see how long since you created this character here. So you can also see how much time you played, /played, but you can actually see, you know, how many days since you actually created this character. And I'll put up the number on the screen when we get into it, so you can see it, because it's gonna be very small on the screen. You probably can't see it. But the main thing is that, you know, I started playing this game a lot, and since I've been spending so much, it sounds so crazy when I say that, because some people you can basically right now buy one pack and then become a lifetime supporter, because there is a pack for $480, but mine is more slowly over the years, you know. Then there was a cool pack for like 60 or 30, and, you know, back in the day, I spent a couple of hundred, and then I actually became a lifetime supporter. So that's why I'm playing Path of Exile 2 now. I was not planning on playing it because, again, it was not a full game and all that stuff. I knew there was going to be a lot of things that they wanted to change with the game and so forth. So I didn't want to pay the 30 just to get into the beta. I'd rather, you know, because I'm probably going to play Path of Exile also for like 10 years or whatever, so I'll get my chance to play it. But then I started playing Path of Exile, and I've been playing quite a long time, and as you can see here, there's plenty of characters here. Some is also deleted over time, and some kind of stuck around, so it's not like these are all my characters I've ever played, but some of them has been deleted, and because sometimes builds just becomes obsolete and there's just a lot of things to change, and you really, some of the times I don't really like the names that I kind of made as well. And the customer service at Grinding Gear Games, the guys that are making the Path of Exile game, is very, very nice, and you can, you know, sometimes change your characters and stuff like that. I have changed my account name as well because I don't remember what my account name was before, but now it's Wahoo TV because somebody already have Wahoo as an account, so unfortunately I can't rename that. Somebody also has my name for that matter, so yeah, I don't really you know, have that name either. I do think I have Wahoo TV, which is my Twitch, right? So people know that one. I also have this one, Wahoo was taken, for example, because it's taken. I'm pretty sure, I thought I had Wahoo Gaming, but I might have, oh yeah, there we go, there it is. I got Wahoo Gaming as well as for the channel, so those two, but I don't have the Wahoo name as of right now. Basically, I asked if I could get the name recently actually, and what happens is that they can release a name if somebody hasn't been playing for a year on that character. They can, I think can, or maybe it's a whole account, I can't remember. Then it releases, and somebody had that. But then, like right before this last, you know, leak came out, then somebody actually snatched up the name. So yeah, now I'll have to wait a whole year if that person hasn't played very much. It's only level 8 in the Settlers League, that, you know, the league here. So, but that person hasn't been, should not be playing for a whole year, and then you know, I can make ask to have it renamed, or it will be free to be taken and such. But yeah, we'll see if that ever happens. Now that I also made this video, people will probably be gunning for that name. I don't mind not having it, but I will take it if somebody wants to give it to me. That would be super, super nice. Actually, down here, this last character right here is actually Wahoo in Japanese. I'll have that name as well. So if you see this one, it is actually Wahoo in Japanese as well. At least a Google translation of it, because I don't speak Japanese or write Japanese, but you know, I was recently in Japan, so I thought it would be pretty fun to have that name in Japanese as well. So hopefully Google is pretty right. I hope so as well. But through all this, I met a couple of people. I met somebody called Xenocide Genius. He still streams, which is Xeno. Caesarian, he's also streams a lot right now. He's one of the top guys. But I met him all the way back from, I think I'm subscribed to him on Twitch actually, because I thought he was I still think he's a pretty awesome guy. He's also linked in the description. You should definitely check him out. He also his YouTube and Twitch and stuff like that. He's really a very, very nice guy. I've been also, like I said, subscribed to him for over 100 months now. So I subscribed to him almost immediately when I kind of met him, or how you meet people on Twitch, I guess. Discovered him on Twitch, and my time, you know, has just been so amazing. So, you know, I subscribed to him, and I've been for that over 100 months as well. I'm also subscribed to Nugian that I talked about before, because he kind of got me into the whole community, and I started streaming myself through the Path of Exile, and I actually, you know, did some YouTube videos. Some of my oldest video actually from YouTube is from Path of Exile. That's what I mean. And it's just been an awesome ride through all of this. And I actually, you know, met a bunch of people through it, but actually the guy that, like I talked about, Sino, he, or Ian, if you want to use his real life name, I've actually visited him actually 2 times, technically a 3rd time as well, but I wasn't really staying with him, but I saw him the 3rd time that I went to America. He is from America, so I went the 2 times, my first 2 times to America, I actually went to visit him, based on a very kind of a crazy kind of, you know, I was playing Path of Exile, I was talking a lot with him, he was really nice as well, he's still really nice guy, but the thing is that, you know, I wanted to visit America for a very long time, also before all this, and my plan was always to go there for a long time, like 3 months or something like that, but it's really hard to do that because you still have an apartment or a house or something you have to pay for in this meantime. So if you basically put your job on hold to pursue this vacation and stuff like that. So it was just a whole thing, and I couldn't do that. So I talked to one of my colleagues, and he has been to America 14 times, not visiting him, but just randomly, right? So I thought, why don't I take like just a small trip? I can just do that many times instead of doing, you know, that's just so much easier. But then I was like, who do I kind of just what did I do? What did I do? And then the idea of just visiting Sino or Ian to just pop into my head, and I did it. And I talked to him, and I asked him, could I come visit you? Like, I want to see America and stuff like that. And he said, yeah, let's talk on Skype. That was when Skype was a thing. That was before Discord as well. As all the way back in 2016 or 15 or something like that. Way back now, almost 10 years ago or so. And we talked on Skype for like 5 minutes, and he said, yeah, you seem like a cool guy. Sure, you can come visit me, and yeah, all that. And then I did, and it was just amazing. And then the year after, I brought my best friend George. And then in 2018, I went with some other friends, and that's where we went to TwitchCon and stuff like that. Had an amazing time, and we also saw Ian around, you know, but we wasn't visiting directly him as we was the other two. The first 2 times we were staying with him and, you know, mooching off his apartment. We paid our own way. We paid our own way. Not rent, for example, but like our food and stuff. We did that, of course. So it wasn't like totally that. But I just made a really nice friend through that, and you know, Caesarian as well, talked a lot with him as well. Mostly just watched. I'm not a big chatter in Twitch. I kind of like to watch. It sounds weird when I say that. I don't really, but you know, a few conversations here and there. You know, talk a little bit with his wife, and you know, knows a little bit about me and him, and not that. I would describe the relationship as like sort of an online friend, you know, a distant online friend in a sense. I wouldn't call him my friend, but I have seen him a couple of times in real life as well because of TwitchCon and kind of hanging out like that. And I hope to hang out much more with him in the future as well. Also meet Nugian. I've never met Nugian in real life, but I hope that I meet him in real life as well. He is Danish as well, not Caesarian, he's Norwegian, but won't hold that against him because I do have a Norwegian friends. But I do want to meet Nugian as well because he's actually Danish, but now he lives also in Belfast. I think that's where Caesarian and him live in the same city and stuff like that now. But he was Danish. He was, you know, Nugian. He is still Danish, but you know, he's not living in Denmark anymore. That's what I'm saying. So that's sort of my story in the whole thing, and I've made a bunch of characters. Some of them are pretty high level. I've never hit like max level. I have never really dabbled much in hardcore either because I tend to die at randomly kind of stupid places that I just would get so frustrated if I die to the hardcore thing. And well, you can still play it in standard, right? But I don't want to be out of the league itself. You know, I don't want to be out of the Settlers League just because of that, because it will go to standard. It won't just go. I would play hardcore Settlers, for example, or whatever league it is. If you died in hardcore, you would go to the softcore version of the league and not just go all the way to standard. Then I would definitely play hardcore and try there, because if I was to you know, go to level 89, I've never gotten to 90, but let's say I'm almost at there, 90, almost has that achievement, and I would die, I would feel so bad that I didn't hit the 90, of course, but also that would be all the way in standard league that I don't want to play. I still want to play the league, right? So I hope that they would change that, but they're probably not going to change that. It's still probably just going to go. Their focus is on Path of Exile 2. But yeah, these are all kind of my characters. You can see them if you go to my profile. I'll link that in the description as well. If you want to check all these characters out, you can do so. That is all on the Path of Exile website. So these are not secret in any sort of way or anything like that. I actually have a Team Trove one that is right there, as you can see. I do play that one, but let's jump on this one before we head into my review. It's getting quite kind of long story time here, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I like to, you know, talk about my personal life whenever it comes to related to gaming, and you can always ask about stuff in the comments or go to the Discord. That's also linked in the description if you want to come hang out with us in the Discord, and you can always ask me questions there if you want to know more about my story about Path of Exile, or if you now is a new viewer that hasn't, you know, you see this video, you never heard about Trove. Do a lot of Trove videos. It's a very nice game, also free to play. And yeah, you should definitely check it out. But let's check out this very first character that I have from Path of Exile. Alright, we are now in-game with the very first character that I made, or still have at least. I think I've made, like I said, a few ones before that. But yeah, this one hasn't changed very much. You can see this one has a 5 link. That was crazy. This is not crazy anymore, of course. You know, have a few items. This one was also not crazy, but it was a really nice bow. This is probably like a 1 elk, you know, bow right now, or even less. You know, this is not something crazy anymore, but back then it was decent. You know, it was not again insane, but it was pretty good indeed. But yeah, we're not gonna go like trigger all these or you know, check out the items. That's not really why we are here, but you can kind of see this is the you know, the character screen. But of course these are, because I don't have, you know, you can see the passive tree is kind of reset all over the place. But if you do, like I said, a /age, you can see here I am on 3,953 days, 15 hours and but yeah, almost 4,000 days ago this was you know, created. So like I've said, I put it on the screen right there so you guys can check it out in like the days. Again, I said it, but also in years, how long since this character was actually made. And you can do actually a /played if you want to see that as well. I've only 4 days on this one, but I do have about 2,000 hours in the game total. That's not counting characters that I have deleted in the past, and also events and stuff like that. There's a not calculated in that stuff because I don't play on Steam, so I don't have my total hours there. I play on the standalone edition or the standalone launcher, and that doesn't count your hours. So I had to go into all my characters the other day, and I calculated all the days that I had, and then I bumped it up a little bit. So like, for example, if I do /played here, I took like 4 days and 17 hours because I wasn't gonna go for minute and seconds as well. So I did, you know, put a few extra minutes on if it was close to 16 or it was close to 15. Then I sometimes took it down because there's definitely some characters I haven't spent, you know, I don't have anymore, so I couldn't calculate that one in. So it's about 2,000 hours. I think it's 2,086 hours or something like that. I haven't exactly, but it's around 2,000 hours that I do have. Maybe 2,100 hours between that at least. So those are my characters, and there's some characters, like I said, that is not there anymore because they were voided into a league or something like that, or a race or something like that. I used to race way back. If you go to my personal stash, this is my personal stash, and there's a bunch of stuff in here, nothing really crazy. There is some old maps. These are some of the old maps that looks like this. I have even these are the shape maps that were called at one point. These are, you know, you can't get these anymore. These of course change every league, so they get like sort of a different look to them. And then we have some other maps here. These are even newer maps. And then the new maps, they changed to a square as well. These were also, but these are very old maps. I don't even know if you can, maybe you can still run them. Some of them you can probably, because they still have that name, so you could probably still run them. But and I don't know if actually they changed the tier either, because every single league they changed tier to be in another one, the regular map that we do have. I do have a few tabs with some random stuff. I have a headhunter. That's not really crazy, but yeah, that's something you can still have. I have a rower feather. That one is a little bit rare to have, and then I have some league mechanic things lying around, so to kind of just have them as well. This one, for example, this one is now a Scorch map. I think that's called a Scorch map, and it's just kind of have it lying around because you can't. This is part of a league mechanic as well that's not in the game anymore. And I have a few. These are just random items, nothing any crazy stuff, but there's a few things in here that was kind of awesome at one point or another. This one as well was a replica as well. This was kind of cool to have at one point, not anymore at all. There's some crafting stuff. There's some six links, and different things, and you can kind of go out here. But the things that I do want to show you guys, these ones all is just extra tabs, so don't worry about these. It's just extra tabs. But these are basically all the tabs that are in different leagues, different mechanics, and all that stuff. But the ones I do want to show you guys is the alt art right here. These are basically unique items. Some of them are unique. I think all of, now these are also just the regular ones, but these are all just unique items. Some of them are not really super awesome or anything like that as a unique, but they do have a different skin that they do have here. As you can see, some of these are not, you can see this is level 22, not really anything, not a lot of people use this one, maybe at level 22. And this one either, maybe it's a really nice one to start out with, same one with this one, but they have alternate skins, all of these. So these are from races. We did have races back in the day. You can actually see them still on my profile as well, the races. And then you could collect all of these items. Again, they were better when they first came out, but it's mostly for the skins. So yeah, I have a few things that all of these are alternate art. That's why it's called alternate art. And also these one also have a different art, even though these rings you can get, but you cannot get them with these skins as well. And it's not like reskins and stuff like that. You can now actually make it into an MTX. So there you can buy an item from real money that you can make it into an MTX and then use it as an MTX if you want to do so. But I kind of want them, then you cannot trade them to other people. So these can still be traded to other people if I choose to do so. So yeah, these are kind of worth, some of them are worth a lot, some of them are not as much, but some of them are pretty nice to have. And also it's very, again, like I said, some of them are can be very expensive. This one, for example, is still, because it's still very usable. There's a lot of people that still want it, even though it's not a crazy unique or anything like that. It's not very hard unique to get. But the thing is that it is still usable. And then it has this one. And then when people open up their, you don't need to turn into an MTX, or they can have it as an item actually. If they want to do so. But you can also use it on other belts if you want to do so. And then you have this very cool skin as well. So yeah, I have been playing a little bit, and there's some reskins and stuff like that that is even more crazier than this one, so much more expensive. So I don't have anything crazy, but I do have a little bit that I think I'm pretty proud of, that I still have lying around, and hopefully I hadn't destroyed any of them in the past. But anyways, that was the story time. That was the path I have taken of Exile, if you can say it like that. So yeah, this was my story of Path of Exile 1. So with that out of the way, maybe you guys want to, either you guys maybe want to watch both the story time and the review. But if you haven't, seen the review, you should probably check it out as well. That's not going to be as long as this one, I promise you, because this is basically, I tried to cram down 12 years of playing this game as much as I could, and also mention all the people that was in there as well. So kind of hopefully I got through everything here. I don't think I've missed anything, and if I did, I'm very sorry. But there's a bunch of people, for example, here that I could shout out for all the people that have been playing over the years. Some people have been playing very little, some is playing very much, and some of them are streamers. It's kind of just fun to have those on your friends list, because it's kind of made so that you can have people on your friends list, but they don't have to have you on your friends list. So it's not like Trove where you have it both ways. Basically, you add people and they don't have to add you back, but you still have them on your friends list as well. So it's a lot of people to shout out. Thank you guys, everyone. And I'll see you guys hopefully right now in the review. Alright, so we got to the review part of Path of Exile 2. I hope you guys enjoyed the story time as well. If you didn't, well, yeah, hopefully you will see it as well. But if you didn't, I know it's alright if you just want to hear my review. So I am playing on Steam, so I know how many hours I have been playing this one. It's only 14 hours, which is nothing compared to a lot of people already. Has like a ton of hours already, like some people are playing like 24/7, right? But my point is that I do feel like I have some sort of insight to the kind of Path of Exile 2 compared to Path of Exile 1. I am no expert on the game on Path of Exile 2, and for Path of Exile 1 either for that matter, but I have about 2,000 hours in Path of Exile 1. I've been following the game for 12 years and kind of seen its up and down and stuff like that, and this is still a closed beta. Well, it is an open beta. I guess it's a pay-to-win, I don't know, pay-to-win beta, but it is a beta that you do have to pay for to get into it unless you are a lifetime supporter, and that's the way I got into the game. As I said before in the intro, how I got into the game. So again, I just want to emphasize that I don't really feel like it's necessary for you to buy your way into the beta unless you're really a big Path of Exile fan of the one. If you have, like I said, like me, 2,000 hours, you could basically, because you are gonna get some stuff out of it, but on the other hand, they're also giving a lot of keys away, and there's just a lot of people playing. And again, it's not the full game that's out, so I wouldn't call it, if somebody makes a total review of the whole game, it's not really something you can do as well. I do have a little bit of a characters over here. I have a level 13 warrior, I have a level 20 witch, and then I have a level 18 ranger. I have also a mercenary and also a monk, but I haven't really played those so far yet. There is the witch that I'm playing the most, but I'm kind of restraining myself from playing too much because this is a game I'm probably going to play for 10 years plus whenever they make Path of Exile 3, right? So I don't want to rush myself and kind of get burnt out on the story, because the story is something we're going to do a lot of times. Every time we, have a new league, we're going to play a new character, we got to go through it all the same way. My overall review of the game is that it is not really a new game in itself. So if you played like a lot of hours in Path of Exile 1 or dabbled in it for at least a few hours, you will see that Path of Exile 2 is really not a new game. And they said so from the beginning, actually. When we actually first heard about Path of Exile 2, it was actually just the patch of 4.0. So this was going to be a major, like a significantly big, kind of a Path of Exile 2 update. But it was going to be a very, very huge, patch. And I feel like it's sort of the same thing it is right now. I don't feel like Path of Exile 2 is a new game per se. I know it's also built on Path of Exile 1, right? Path of Exile 1, Path of Exile 2, which should be very similar to each other. But I feel like there is so many mechanics from Path of Exile 1 that I don't feel like this is a completely new game. I kind of feel like, again, this is a huge content update, even though it's now called Path of Exile 2. And I kind of feel in a way that after playing only 14 hours still, but I kind of feel like Path of Exile 2, and it's not that we should get a completely new game, and it's still in the same, like if they called it I don't know, Ways of Water or something like that, I don't know, a different title, right? Then we were expecting a completely new game. This should be a game that is in the same style and same like kind of feeling, right? But I don't feel like it's kind of between, again, I say a really, really big content upgrade for Path of Exile 1 and then a completely new game. I feel like it's quite between there, how they kind of hit at it. And I feel like that's great. I don't mind it at all, but I do kind of feel a little bit in a way that it is a meter stunt to kind of call it Path of Exile 2 instead of just calling it patch 4.0, for example. If you're getting what I'm saying. It is going to be an amazing game, and it's going to be super great and all that stuff. But in the end, I do feel like it's kind of a media stunt to kind of call it Path of Exile 2 because it sounds better than just saying, hey, we're getting, patch 4.0. It's going to be amazing. But if somebody hears, oh, Path of Exile 2, instead of hearing patch 4.0, like, okay, I haven't played Path of Exile since like 1.0 or whatever, so it's just a big patch or whatever. Oh, no, it's so many things, right? And there is a lot of quality of life and a lot of great updates in this game. But if you're expecting, I'm just trying to mend your expectations that it's not a completely new game. It's very, very styled to Path of Exile 1, and you're not really hitting that new game feeling, and that is also good. I do like that, but I don't want people to feel like, oh, when I'm gonna go into Path of Exile 2, I don't have to be playing Path of Exile 1. You could play Path of Exile 1 and never play Path of Exile 2, but you could also, jump into Path of Exile 2, for example, and never play Path of Exile 1 for sure. But I'm just saying, I think you should try Path of Exile 1 first and then jump into... You have time right now before Path of Exile 2 comes out, so if you're watching this, like when the beta is actually going on, I would recommend you, if you want to try out Path of Exile 2, I would much rather you try out Path of Exile 1 and get that experience and get some feeling with that game, and then, also get through the storyline, because the storyline do continue in this one. That's also what they said in the beginning, that this is basically when the Path of Exile 1 is done with that storyline, this storyline continues, and it do feel like that in the game. So if you know that storyline, you can definitely should jump on that one. So I do recommend that if you do kind of feel a little bit about the lore, but you can definitely jump into Path of Exile 2 and have an amazing time without having played Path of Exile 1. So just wanted to put that expectations, I guess, of those review expectations out there for you guys as well. So to the game itself, I do want to review it a little bit. I do feel like, coming from Path of Exile 1, that skills is a little bit more wonky. I know not all the skills are out now, but I do feel like it was sort of easy. I guess it's also what I know, so compared to some stuff I don't know, a new system about the gyms and stuff, So it's simple enough with the gems and so forth, but it feels a little bit sluggish to get, like before you just leveled, your gems leveled up when you got experience, right? And they always got experience no matter where you were. But the point is, I kind of more like that system a little bit. Like I do like this system, but the other system was just not so much better. It's just a little bit better still. I feel like I kind of like that one a little bit more. But it did, of course, in some ways actually, kind of hinder some stuff as well, because it was really hard to, level those gems all the way up. But they do kind of compensate for that in later stages of the game and such. So I don't really feel like it was super hard in that sense either. So yeah, I don't know. I just, it's a very minor thing, but I did want to mention the gem thing, that it kind of feels a little bit better in Path of Exile 1, but Path of Exile 2 gems system is still super amazing. Don't get me wrong. So it's just a little thing. But one of the major things that I do have with the game is the whole getting trapped thing. You kind of sometimes get trapped and then you die by monsters and stuff like that. I don't like, also when you play with other people, you kind of collide with their character as well, and it kind of gets a little bit wonky. I know it's in a beta and stuff like that, but I do want to mention that as well. Hopefully it doesn't make it to the live game, but kind of feels like you can't go through people, or you can't go through enemies. And I know that also sounds weird if you should or are able to do that, but sometimes you can get trapped and you just can't do anything. You can't roll out of it. So it just kind of seems like you are just bound to die when you are doing that. And I know that you shouldn't be able to just run through enemies and not defeat them and such, but I don't know, maybe they make the collide thing a little bit easier to do or whatever. Sometimes you just kind of die with it, and it's just, I'm not playing hardcore, but if you are playing hardcore, it seems kind of annoying to just look at the screen and that just knowing that now you are dead because you are just crammed inside of some enemies. It doesn't feel very amazing, and you can't really roll out of it. I wish you could roll out of it. Like if you did the roll animation, I wish you could like roll like through enemies, right? I know that sounds very weird, but there just should be a way to escape the enemies. You shouldn't just like run through the enemies like la 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 la, right? It shouldn't just be like that. There should be some sign like you do have to fight these enemies to get through them. But if you do get stuck, I wish you could roll out of it. Like it would basically make your character invisible and you could roll through that one and you can get out of it or something like that, because it just feels so bad when you are actually getting stuck in there and you actually are dying. And speaking of dying, the roll mechanic, oh my god, the roll mechanic. I know that it shouldn't make you faster or anything like that, but I do feel like a lot of these boss fights are quite hard. Like they're not impossible in any way. You just have to learn them a little bit, and some builds do have a better time killing these things. And I've seen stuff on the internet, just completely destroying these bosses. But I'm also looking at this from a person that's never played Path of Exile before and hasn't like looked at a million videos and build guides and everything and just jumping into the game. I don't want to get these people discouraged from playing the game because they don't know what to pick of what classes or what gems they should be doing or where they should be going or what the gear looks like or anything like that. So I do feel like there is sort of an obstacle with like kind of bosses and kind of itemization and gearing and all that stuff that should be a little bit more linear, and the roll mechanic kind of is a big factor into that one, because I feel like they've built a lot of these boss fights around rolling mechanics. Like they can put a lot of mechanics in the game now because they have this roll. So it's like, oh, I died to this mechanic, but they're like, but you could have rolled. Yeah, I know, but I feel like I don't do any damage when I'm rolling, basically. And if I have to roll all the time, then I'm not doing anything. And I don't play Path of Exile to just do the roll mechanic because it's actually pretty sluggish and kind of doesn't feel amazing. I think they've done a little bit to tweak it now, like with the latest patch and stuff, but looking back, I don't like the roll mechanic, basically. I don't really like that one. And of course on the Witch, I don't have to do it as much as I have to do in other classes, but I don't feel like you should be forced to only play witches, for example, because you don't like to do the rolling thing. But on the other hand, I know some people do like it, and I don't think it should be removed or anything like that. I just feel like they should have turned down the the mechanics or the timing of the mechanics, so you don't have to roll all the time. It's like the boss is doing a mechanic, you know, and then you roll out of it, and then you try to shoot, but it's doing another mechanic. Then you have to roll again before you actually get to shoot or attack or whatever you're doing, right? So I just want to say that I don't like how much you have to roll. I don't think they should remove the rolling. I'm saying there's a lot of rolling in the game, and I kind of wish that it would be also, I know there's no cooldown on it, but I wish there was a cooldown on it, but then it also made you faster. Kind of wish there is and also in Diablo 4, where you kind of have a cooldown on your roll, or you can have like stack extra rolls on it, so you can actually roll multiple times, but it actually makes you a little bit faster, so you can actually get out of, you know, you can actually move it as a moving tool, and also you know, you don't have to use it as much, right? You can turn down how often the bosses can use their abilities. That's just kind of how I'm feeling about the game so far. But I am having a lot of fun playing this game, so you should definitely check it out when it releases. I will do a playthrough, like I said before, of every single act, or act 1 to 6. Spoiler alert, yeah, there's 6 acts, and we can only play 1 to 3 right now. So I don't want to go crazy and burn out on the acts now, because again, I will be playing this game for a long time, and I'll be playing it plenty of time. But I will be doing a blind playthrough of every single act, doing like a video for every single one of them. So I did for Path of Exile 1. So yeah, if you want to check that out now, you can do that, of course, in the description. You check that stuff out. There's a lot of stuff I have to I have to put in the description, so I'll see if I get all of them. But remind me in the comments if I forget any of the links, then of course I'll remember and put them in there for you guys. But that's sort of my review. Nothing huge, nothing crazy, but just a few thoughts that I have on the game so far. Just that the game is between a very new game and also a very big content update for Path of Exile 1. It's kind of in between there. And the whole rolling thing about, you know, boss mechanics being like kind of too frequent. And then lastly, of course, also just dying in very kind of stupid ways of being cramped inside of monsters and just can't do anything. That just doesn't feel very nice to be doing that as well. But could be a few fixes out there for that one. But overall, super amazing game, amazing content, amazing updates, amazing quality of life stuff. Oh my god, the quality of life stuff in this one is absolutely gorgeous, absolutely amazing. Just like 10 out of 10, maybe even 11 out of 10. That's how good the quality of life stuff we got from Path of Exile 1 to Path of Exile 2. So definitely check this game out when you can, but if you don't want to pay that 30, which I don't recommend you doing, because again, it's not a full game. It will be free to play when it comes out, right? Play some Path of Exile 1, that's also free to play, and just kind of get through the storyline if you are looking to do that, and just have a good time with that. And again, free to play on Steam as a launcher itself and all that stuff, so you can check that stuff out. So that was my review. It came quite a long video. Hopefully people didn't think that I was going to talk only about the review, but I think that was the most important thing. But I also kind of felt like you had to have a little bit of a backstory to what I've been playing. So it's not like, hey, I'm just jumping into this game and I've never tried it before, so here's my review, right? I feel like I do have some sort of knowledge, a bit at least. No expert, again, on Path of Exile in general, but I just wanted to put out my thoughts there, kind of my review on Path of Exile. I could also call it like that. I don't know if review is the right word, but yeah, I just want to put my thoughts out there. Again, thank you if you made it this far in the video. Thank you for watching all of it. Thank you for all the support, and let me know if you in the comments if you want to see more Path of Exile stuff, not like this, you know, story time and review and stuff, but actually like maybe build guides or like characters that I have played or going to play in Path of Exile 2, you know, what I've done for a league and what my character is now or whatever. Maybe I'm not the biggest of build guides person, but we'll see what the future holds, you know, and yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!